Hello, hello. I'm Kevin and I play The Binding of Isaac. It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. Let's rip another one. Ooh, okay. It's been snowing a lot here in Montreal. It is, what day is it today? Today's January 18th. It's been snowing a lot. The thing about Quebec weather is that it's something that no one tells you. Quebec weather is like fucked. It snows and it rains and it freezes like every other week. It's like a whole cycle of rain, snow, freeze. It happens every other week in the winters. So because of that, all the roads get like torn up. The cars just get covered in snow, dirt, and salt. And Quebec residents, they do this thing where they have an outdoor garage. I don't know if I've talked about this, but you know, Quebec people, they have an outdoor garage thing. They set up a little like tent for their outdoor garage. It's like made of metal frames and there's like a plastic sheet over it, and it's to keep the snow off their driveway and to honestly, I don't know why they do it, just for extra space because they don't have a garage and when they live in like duplexes or whatever, I think. I'm just so glad that I don't have to worry about a car while I live here. It's the road and the drivers. There's so many issues that I would face if I were to have a car. I'm glad that I don't have to deal with that. And I do like the cold. I don't mind the cold at all. It's just that I prefer the Vancouver rain. It's just more pleasant. I don't know, man. Why would I want to deal with all that? Like going down to minus 20 Celsius. Like ever. Why would I want to deal with that? When I can just have a mild winter, a mild summer. I'm good. I'm so good on dealing with shitty winter weathers here, man. And the people that live here, I'm not just saying this because I'm from the West Coast. It's the people that I talk to in Quebec that have lived here for years and years. They know the weather is shitty and they wish that they could go elsewhere too. But because of like whatever obligations, they just can't. And I feel them on it because I'm stuck here too in Quebec. Everyone in Quebec is stuck. I don't know, maybe it's, I feel like no one in this is not like a racist or whatever take. It's literal anecdotes from myself and the people that I've talked to that lived in Quebec for years and years, and they know the issues that Quebec faces. Things like tax, weather, the political climate. It's kind of a mess. And I guess I have to speak more specifically to Montreal because I don't know other parts of the province very well. So I can't generalize too much. But just from what I know, Quebec sucks. Quebec is so... It's a divided province. It doesn't know what it wants to do. Politically, linguistically. It's a very divided province, in my opinion. And I feel like I have some authority to speak on this because I've lived in Quebec for a couple years now. And take it with a grain of salt, really, because 2 years isn't a lot of time, and I feel like I'm not a big part of the province. I have no real ties to this province. But I have so many gripes about Quebec. I don't know if I planned to rant about Quebec in this episode, but that's where we are now. Quebec is a freaking mess. I hate the weather. I don't like some of the people. I don't like the transit system. Okay, I don't even know where to start. Okay. So, when I have to go to work, I sometimes need to take a bus and a train. And the system is very actually robust. It's a very robust transit system, quite reliable. It's very fast, and it comes very frequently. The only issue is that no one seems to be happy in transit. Now you might ask, oh, people don't need to look happy in transit. It's transit. But man, it ranges from the people that smoke in bus stops. They will be sitting, or they'll be standing in line, and they will just pull out a cigarette and start smoking it in the line. And what pisses me off so much is the lack of self-awareness that drives someone to do such a thing. They clearly don't care about anyone around them. They're just smoking a ciggy when they're surrounded by people that clearly don't want to be surrounded by ciggy smoke. But they don't care. They want a nicotine hit. So everyone has to suffer. And that drives me up the fucking wall. And that is not a Quebec thing. It's just something I've noticed while I've lived here. If it's me and if it's five, like there's always someone smoking at a bus stop. I don't know what it is. It could be just me and another person. The other person would pull out a cigarette. I feel like there's like a certain law that says when you're standing at a bus stop, somebody needs to smoke. If I'm standing at a bus stop, maybe I need to smoke too, just to follow that freaking logic. So many rude smokers here. From what I've seen. Hey, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it's a Quebec thing. It's just a rude people thing. It's not a Quebec thing, it's a rude people thing. It's just something I noticed in Quebec. And fuck. And because I live in this province, I feel like I'm obligated to not really dog on this province too hard. So let's say you waited for your bus, covered in, that's covered with cigarette smoke. And now you're in the train. The train station is all underground, so it's like, you don't have to worry too much about the elements. But I don't know why, it just smells bad. The whole train station just smells like bad. It just smells terrible. It's the mix of people smoking like crack or whatever in there. And there's like not enough ventilation. And they let just about anyone through the transit gates. Like there's a turnstile. But so many people I see just kind of jump over the turnstile, and the ticket operators, they're not gonna stop them. They don't care. It's not. I don't know. Like, then why are they there? And there's like security guards sometimes, and they don't do anything either. There's people just jumping the gates, not paying their fees. And they go in and they go to the. It's either the homeless people or the people that are disrespectful for towards the rest of the society. They are a nuisance. Again, this is not something that I've seen in other provinces. I haven't seen this in Vancouver. Maybe it's a Toronto thing too, but I haven't been in Toronto to really tell that side of the story. And there are a lot of homeless people on the trains in Quebec, in the metro. A lot of homeless people soliciting for money, like change. They're trying to sell shit to you. I've seen like homeless people come up to me while I was there with Jacqueline, and they would like show you a handful of pencils. And they were essentially trying to sell you pencils while I'm trying to get home, dog. I'm about to slap all those fucking pencils out of your hands, dude. Like, don't... And the thing is, I have nothing against homeless people. There was a good time in my life. I feel like up until last year, I had regular sympathy for homeless people. And I did my best to, when they're like lying face down on the floor at a train station, I would stop by and look at their shoulders to see if they're breathing. Because, we're all in this together. And I have to look out for other vulnerable people in society as a healthcare professional. But no, they don't give a fuck about you. You can give them money, but they still ask for more. And dude, I pay so much in taxes here. I pay my dues. I pay my dues. I do not need to give anyone any money. I have already given them through governmental subsidies and government programs for people that would support them. And they should access that. And if they accessed it and they got kicked out for whatever reason, that's on them. That's not on me to keep supporting them through their bad habits and their bad behaviors. If they got kicked out of a governmental program, I'm not Batman. I'm not gonna save them through the mistake regardless of the mistakes that they made. So now I just kind of look away when I see, okay. I feel like not enough people talk about this because it's like taboo or something, but I am way too autistic to care if this is out of line. I don't care about homeless people. That's it. I said it. I don't like them. Call the cops. Now, when I see them lying down face on the floor, I don't even check if they're breathing. I'm over it. I paid my dues. I paid more than my dues. It's not up to me to save each and every homeless person that I come across. I pay taxes for that. That's what taxes are for. Of course, it's not all encompassing. But I shouldn't feel guilty about not helping homeless people and seeing if they're breathing in public transit. Okay. This brings me to this brings me to a docket that I've written down a little while back. I've worked with homeless people. This is very relevant now. I've worked with homeless people. A lot of people with like substance use challenges. I have worked with them, and I have a lot of sympathy for them. But what's interesting about them is that they always carry a whole bunch of shit with them. I guess that's because that's all they own. But a lot of homeless people have a duffel bag or a backpack, sometimes both, and they just have a bunch of shit in there. And I've written down like a list of the things that I usually find in homeless people's bags. Let me actually go through them. Let me hear, where is this? So, homeless people's backpack. Number one is coloring books. I don't know what it is about homeless people and coloring books. Maybe it's like they get them at like facilities where they can sleep, get a roof over their heads, a meal in their belly, and they maybe hand out like little hobby things like coloring books that are low cost, and it does things, you know, for their brain, and it keeps them entertained for like a little bit. So they always have they have coloring books in there. With the coloring books, they all, you know, they have colored pencils, of course, or like pencil crayons. They have like shoppers, like bottom shelf shoppers, like makeup, like broken up, dried, like eyeliners, or like you know those like makeup palettes. I don't know makeup lingo enough to really explain, but it's like eyeshadow things, you know. It's like this bunch of like bad makeups, like bad quality makeups that are clearly old and clearly been around in rough environments. Next is a phone charger. They carry a phone charger because if they can find an outlet, they can charge their phones. That's great for them. Hold on. Next is a bunch of cigarettes. I guess they always have money for cigarettes. And with cigarettes comes Bic lighters. Or sometimes no lighters, and then they have to ask someone else for lighters. But they always have cigarettes. A lot of homeless people. I hope this isn't like judgmental. This is more like educational and something that I found interesting. What else? I'm looking at the list. Hold on. Crumpled government documents. They be carrying crumpled up government documents, whether that's like anything from like a receipt. I guess that's not a government document, but just like crumpled up piece of paper of some sort. And it's always sitting in the bottom of the bag. There's like a bunch of crumbs, there's dirt. I never know what those papers are, but they always have them. They seem important. What else? Oh, off-brand snacks. Like Cheetos, but then it's like not really Cheetos. It's maybe like Cheezos. But they have like a lot of it. They carry a lot of snacks. Sometimes like a lot of sugary things. A sugary drink, then maybe they have a Sprite. But for snacks wise, they don't have Doritos Cool Ranch. They have like they have Cheezos. I don't even know if that's I don't think that's a real snack. I just made it up. My point is they don't carry around with them in their bags like top shelf snacks. It's always off-brand Oreos and like a Coke or something like that. And the last one on the list is loose change. You know, can't forget about loose change. And also sometimes like old shoes and a bunch of socks. They're never clean. It's hard for them because I guess they can't find places to get laundry done. And I know that their living situation can get a little sporadic. But this is just you know, if you see someone that's down on their luck and they carry around a big backpack or like carry around a little cart, that's what they have. I thought it was interesting. I was like, and over time, what I found most interesting was the patterns. I've worked with homeless populations in Vancouver and also in Montreal. And they both kind of they carry the same stuff. They carry the same loot. I thought that was fascinating. Like, regardless of where you are in Canada, maybe it's like even in North America, you always find fucking like ciggies, some off-brand Cheetos. Now you don't have to worry. Now you don't have to wonder what. I don't know if you're ever wondering. Now you know what they carry for their loot. Oh, I don't even know where to go after this. I feel like I need to get away from this talk. I feel like the more I talk about this, the more judgment it seems like that I'm casting, and I'm really not being judgmental. I have like I why is it taboo? What? Okay, I'm not saying that it is, but I feel like it's taboo to talk about homeless people in online. And if I get any hate for it, I would say, dude, like, are you silencing me on talking about the populations that I had personally worked with? So I know that, so I hope that I don't get any, like, I don't know, weird internet pushback. It's like, oh, you shouldn't talk about homeless people. Like, dude, why shouldn't I talk about homeless people? They Ooh, a nice car battery. I see I know that online there's like people. I've seen this online. I don't know if anyone else has seen this. It's like not pranking homeless people, but like giving homeless people like cigarettes and like liquor. I don't know. I think it must have been my brother that brought this up, which is horrible. But man, I don't know, something about that seems really evil and really nice. Giving homeless people like little bottles of liquor and like cigarettes, like not like a whole box of cigarettes, but like just one at a time. It is causing harm to them, but the thing about stuff like that is like harm reduction. You know that they're gonna smoke and drink alcohol. If they're enticed by that, then you know they're already doing it probably. This is just like a safe way to get them. But then to do that for internet clout, it's such a morality conflict. Of course, there are people that are like handing out sandwiches, handing out bottles of water, and those people are the lawful goods. But the chaotic goods are the ones that are handing out ciggies. Oh my god, get me out. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Okay. I'm just running into enemies at this point. Oh, it's an Excel floor. Might as well take these. And okay, I guess I'll continue with my Quebec talk after after the whole homeless people charade. Yeah, I want people to care about the rules, about the rest of society. No one looks happy in Quebec. I haven't seen anyone, I haven't talked to anyone that's like, oh, you're trying to leave Quebec? No, you should stay, it's so good here. Everyone that I've talked to is like, yeah, it really fucking sucks here. You should definitely go to Vancouver if you can. And then sometimes they're like, take me with you. Something about this province, man. It's not just me, dog. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can use that for one room. Nice. What else? What else about? Okay, I don't know. I had a docket about this. Whether, yeah, the roads are always torn up because of the weather, and also because there's a whole mafia. I can't talk about it too much. They'll make it seem like I I just, you know, hey, I can't talk about it too much. If I talk too much, I'm in trouble. You know, let's just put it there. But because of the weather and the people that clean the snow, it's hard to keep the road intact. Oftentimes it is very much torn up because the salt, the weather. Oh my god, what the? Hold on. That's okay. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Use this here. Yeah, dude. Do not ever come to Quebec. No one wants to be here. And everyone, the thing is, if you live in Vancouver, people are like, yeah, it's expensive, but it's like nice. You get the mountains, you get the cities. In Quebec, you pay more in taxes. Sure, the rent is not as expensive, but also the places just aren't as good either. A lot of the buildings are old. The public infrastructures are pretty bad. And everyone that I talk to in Vancouver is like, oh, you should stay in Vancouver. You know, don't go to Montreal. Vancouver's so nice. You simply do not see that or hear that with Montreal. It's like, oh, you know, you should stay in Montreal, Kevin. It's, you know, we got the you got the you got the fuck ass people that are just unhappy in public transit, man. It's we got the really high taxes and politically ridden population that are very, very divisive on, you know, conservative versus liberal things. And from what I understand too, is that they're like refusing to continue proliferation of French speakers. They're very much neglecting the rights of people that speak English. I guess is to preserve culture, and that is a conservative mindset, which I can respect. It's just like, but when they start like rejecting like English speaking doctors or whatever, and there's not enough family doctors in Quebec, but they're like, nah, we want our doctors to speak French. But then population's like, we can't get medical care because there's not a lot of doctors. Like, you do have to prioritize like public interests and not like, I don't know, this is getting political. I just want what's best for the people, and I don't think right now Quebec's doing the right thing. As an English speaker, so I guess I am, you know, public enemy number one. And it's not like I surround myself with English speakers and I, you know, sit in an echo chamber either. All these sentiments that I've heard, it comes from people that have lived in Quebec and they are fully bilingual. They have no problem speaking French, but they can also agree that Quebec is not for everyone.
The Hanged Man.
Oh, fuck. If I'm not careful, this run is done for. I miss the mountains. I miss the mountains. I miss happy looking people. Get me back home, man. Give me better roads. Give me give me SkyTrain, where the SkyTrain workers actually give a shit. Oh my god. I just want people to give a shit. I want when people, you know, SkyTrain, so often they have people like police that check if people have paid their transit fees, and they have people like transit staff that go around the transit to see if there's anyone suspicious or something like that. Because someone selling pencils at SkyTrain would not fly. It would be so quickly shut down. But here, there's like, yeah, you know, there's no one stopping you from jumping the gates, selling pencils in SkyTrains, and smoking like whatever in there. It's you know, it's free real estate, so fuck it. And there's so many stories of people just getting like assaulted and in like train stations here. That is like not funny one bit. It's so serious, but they don't care. They don't care. they're not gonna increase like security or people's like sense of safety in transit. It's like, yeah, you know, that's just how it is. I cared about homeless people before I saw so many of them. Does that make sense? Is that mean? Is that cold? Now I'm like broke. I've seen too many homeless people. I've grown pretty jaded, essentially. I wish I wasn't so jaded, you know? Oh my god, these are all quality 1 items. Oh, this one's 2. This one's 2. Fuck, whatever. This run's a little bleak. But that's okay. I just need to lock in a little bit. I feel like I need an opinion of someone else that's in similar shoes. I know that I get plenty of people that I speak to in real life that share the same sentiment. But if you have lived in both Montreal and Quebec, there's one clear winner in saying that, oh, the price of rent is too much. Yeah, it is, because you're paying for the scenery, you're paying for the quality of life, and you're broke either way. I wish I knew before I moved here, man. And I'm not gonna pull any punches just because I'm living in Quebec. I'm gonna tell it like it is. It's rough. It's rough. And everyone that's like living here, they're like... They have like family here, they have older parents that can't move. So you need to take care of them, or they have like a mortgage that they need to pay off, and anytime... It's just way too much to move at like... At their stage in their lives or whatever. But no one is willingly here. No one's like, yeah, I could move, but I just love Quebec so much. It's great for a visit. You go to, like, Montreal subreddit and you see so many people that are like, is everyone lonely here? And everyone's like, yeah, kind of. And it's just not me thing either. Sense of community is very hard because everyone's out here to survive. That's their goal. There's no thriving when they're surviving. Sure, they have like jazz festival and like anime con or whatever. I don't know. And if it's like, a lot of it is not my thing either. And even if it was, like, I don't have the friends here to go with. Because they're all in Vancouver. And they're like, yeah, Vancouver's nice. And they're like, yeah, Vancouver is really nice. I will never... Like, after the day that I leave Montreal, I will never look back. I'm sure that I have like so many more complaints about Montreal. I just can't think of it. It is a strange province. And you can't really know until you've lived in it, really. But after living in it, can't say that I recommend it for everyone. I can recommend Vancouver for everyone if you make a decent enough living. But even if you don't, I'd rather be broke in Vancouver than broke in Montreal. Like, if people aren't here and they're like saving a ton of money and they're like using that money to do a bunch of fun stuff. That's not the case at all. All the money that you save goes to fixing your car after a fucking snowstorm, changing your winter tire. In Vancouver, you don't really necessarily need winter tire. Like, it snows what? Like, sometimes like just a few days in a year. I think this year it didn't snow that much. So the money that you save, you know, in quotes, like I'm doing the air quotes, the money that you save by paying cheaper rent is gone to something else. And there's no like rich people in Montreal. I've seen, I mean, of course there's like the more wealthier, like not international people, just like people that are from out of province. Yeah, they're usually happier looking. They have more, you know, pep in their step. Oh my god, I'm gonna die here, aren't I actually don't have enough damage. I have no tear effects. I think that's my issue. Oh my god. Oh my god. Get away from me. I do want to keep the win streak going, if at all possible. If I have to rely on my bombs to do damage, what am I... Wah. Oh yeah, if that bomb hit. You're not dead? That means that. Whew. Okay. I'm sure I have more Quebec stories. This is just like part 1, really, of my gripes with this freaking province. As long as I live in Quebec, I'll have more to complain about. If you're in Quebec or if you're in Montreal and you're considering finding life elsewhere, it's better elsewhere. Let me tell you. And that's how you beat the Binding of Isaac with just barely 1 health. Thanks for watching.